Hello. Why am I wearing my headphones? All right. So this video is for Rex, and he wants a flat roof over two 40-foot shipping containers. These are high cubes, and should be interesting. One thing I just realized is my footings need to be inverted. Let me turn off my containers for a second. And this is what you get when you, I'm just going to delete all this. When you try to use stuff from other jobs, it always gets you in trouble. It's sometimes easier just to start. Let's see, if I just flip them around, yeah, that would be better. I think 180, and then move it over. Let's see, before I do that though, I do want them to be in the same spot, because that way I can use my the same views, like the front view and side view and all that. So I'm going to put myself, what is going on with SketchUp? Oh no, my mouse died. Oh good lord. Gotta plug her in, which is a pain. Defeats the whole purpose of having a wireless mouse. I got the ball and chain lugging around. Oh man. Alright, I'm going to try not to complain too much. So what I'm going to do is put myself a corner there. That dash line is part of my foundation plan, where I want to make sure I get all this stuff. The dash line is just the container layout. I'm gonna get that point right there. Now you can kind of see where, well, I'm gonna put it right there, and then I'm gonna raise it up 3 inches just to make sure I got it. I should have just done it right here. 3 inches. What it is, those are this ground right here represents the finished grade, but if you turn it off, you can see that these footings are, you take an auger, a 24-inch auger on a skid steer or an excavator, and dig yourself 3 or 4 foot holes. We got to look at that because we're in Indiana, I think, so these might have to be a little deeper. But then you can just form up your squares, these 24-inch squares on top of the ground, and these squares are easier to work with as far as laying out, getting them the proper dimensions. If you've ever worked with anything round, like if a sonotube's just sticking up out of the ground and you're trying to hook your tape measure over a round edge, you're like, okay, is my tape measure here? Is it here? Is it here? There? Well, you don't have to worry about that with they just work better. Where am I? Let's turn. Now I'm upside down. Let's go to our foundation view, and we'll try to get back right side up. And we'll turn on perspective and turn our ground back on. And there we go. Now, what he wants is 2 of them 20 feet apart. So now I'm going to copy this. Roger, and spin it around this way, and that will become evident later on. I need my 2 load bearing edges on the inside, like that. Now you want them 20 feet apart, and this would be measured from there, from the container, 20 feet. So it's bigger than I thought. So we're just going to take this line and move it over to there. That's our 20 feet apart. I'm really wishing I had charged up my mouse before I started, but I'm going to keep going. And turn our containers back. Well, that's weird. I had the containers. Okay. Here we go. So now I can move this container over to there. And it looks like I need to check my I think maybe in the last job I had to adjust the containers or something because they're not lining up with the dashes. Right there. And then we want this to line up. Are we on that dash? I'm not exactly on the... It's funny, when you start a new project, that's what it is. So I figured why we weren't down on the concrete. For some reason, I know what it is. If you lay these in SketchUp, if I were to lay these dash lines down on top of that concrete, they would kind of disappear in some of the views. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself a reference line right there because I want those to line up vertically and horizontally. Except, did I have the wrong? I didn't move that one, did I? I think I had this one selected. Man, I'm having a hard time getting started here, aren't I? This should have been easy. This is the easy part. Am I on that? I feel like I'm not on that line, am I? I guess I am. And am I on? That's the problem. This is not out here. There we go. That's that dash line is not 1000% critical, but so I'm going to turn them off now that I got them in the right place. Now I just want to measure to make sure I've got my 20 feet. 20 feet, that a baby. Now we got to start. We got our shipping containers 20 feet apart, and we have our footings all situated. Flat roofs for flat earth. Oh boy, what are the dimensions of your piers? 24 by 24. They're 24 inches square, 8 inches deep. And then, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thanks, Ryan. The footings are. The reason I stick these, I leave these sticking up, is to simulate how much gravel fill most people put around. What most people have been doing is filling this up, after. So let's just start back from the beginning. The ground, I'll just show you. where your subgrade is. Okay, so your subgrade, when you start building something, you have what's considered a subgrade, right? Okay, so your subgrade is that hard ground you want to be on. Okay, this is what you're building on, right? So, and it may be ground that you've stripped off the topsoil, because in most areas in our country, there's some loamy, dark earth, flat, dark earth on top of the ground, and you want to scrape all that away until you get down to what we call chert, the hard dirt. In Tennessee, we call it chert because it's rock and clay and all kinds of stuff, good stuff. It's good to build on, though. Okay, so that's where you start. So you would dig your holes, get your 24-inch auger, you dig your hole, you see. So now imagine, now this is your subgrade, this hole, and depending on what part of the country you're in, I think this is 3 feet. Oh, it's not. It's going to be deeper. That was for a Texas project. These are supposed to be, you know what, they're supposed to be, I want to fix that, I'll fix it later. They're supposed to be components, and they should all move whenever did I mess it up? Yeah, I messed it up. Anyway, I'll fix that. The point is, you dig these holes deep enough to get below your frost line. Okay? So they might be, in Tennessee, they might be 3 feet. In Indiana, they might be 4 feet. In Alaska, they'd be 6 feet. Right? And then the top of the ground, what you do is you form up these 2-foot squares on top of the ground. Right? And that's your 8-inch, you see? But these footings are easier to work off of because they're square, and you can square them. You can get this footing square with this one, and get them all lined up. I've done a bunch of work with sonotubes, and they're actually hard to work with because they're round. And so what most people do is oversize them just so they'll be big enough so they don't have to worry about it. But we don't do that. We want things to be a little more accurate. So anyway, so now after you're done constructing this, you take and backfill, your grade so that it's sloping away. Well, here we go. I'm just going to undo it so it'll be right where I had it before. There we go. So now you've backfilled, and this grade, your finished grade, is sloping away from your structure. Okay? When you backfilled, and all this backfill doesn't have to be structural. So that's what you would grow your grass on or whatever. Now I leave it up 3 inches because most of the people I'm dealing with are going to come in and fill in that grade, fill in all that with gravel. And that gives you a nice parking pad or whatever. Does that make sense? I see, thank you. I agree, the tubes are difficult to line up. They really are. And you can get the heights, the elevation is not a big deal. It's getting them, do you get into specifying what rebar? Yes. What I do, somewhere I have a foundation. I have a detail. Let's see, that would be if you go into, when I do, the one thing I don't show much is the printed drawings, because they're kind of boring to watch. Honestly, these videos would be really boring. But if you go, let me find a job right quick. If layout, this is the software where we do our, here we go right here, where I do the sheets, the 24 by 36 construction drawing. See, nobody wants to watch this stuff, it's boring. But see this right here, this detail, you'd have these 4 vertical pieces of rebar, and then you can buy these hoops You can buy these rebar hoops at your local, like here, TT Wilson is where we buy all of our rebar stuff. You can buy these hoops already formed, and they're like 20 inches or whatever, 18 to 20 inches. And so, yeah, I've got a detail to pier spot footing detail, and you see it's referenced on this drawing somewhere. Yeah, 2, you see. So these are the working drawings. And I show the details, of how the posts are connected, but I'm going to get out of that because you see it's a little slow and laggy because there's a lot of surfaces to render. We are trying to combine different styles. Hey Tony, I used to learn a lot from you. Keep going. Thank you. One day I have a project for you. How we do roofs here in Bulgaria in a very specific way. I would love to see that. Hey Vanessa. I love watching. I've done projects all around the world. And, the last one was in Zambia, that solar farm for the fishery there. And I did a container home for a guy in Puerto Rico. So what I would do is I would go to Google Earth and literally, on Google Earth, there's little bubbles that you can click on and it'll show you local pictures. I literally searched almost all of Puerto Rico and found local construction, local pictures of houses in process to figure out how they built locally. So it's really interesting to me, since I am a design build contractor. It's all I've ever done really my whole life, and it's just really interesting to me. But anyway, I've got my 2 40-foot containers here, and I was going to use my Medique wall extension, and we'll see if it doesn't drive me too crazy having to do all the parameters. Wall height, I want it to be 24 inches. What Rex is going to do is we want 2x4s. We want 24 inches on center because he's going to have trusses. 24 inches on center, stud direction, we'll figure that out in a minute. Top plate quantity 2. Let's do 2. I'm going to do 2 bottom plates 2. Bottom plate A. Okay, so we want this to be exterior. Yeah, exterior. Let's just do. We really don't have to worry about the corners too much, but I'm going to do my typical corner that I love. I don't like California corners. They're wimpy. 3. And then let's update that to get all this pink stuff going. Wall sheeting, yes. Let's say wall cladding. No, we won't have any wall cladding. Let's update this. And let's just run a wall out here. Which side am I on? Face. Okay, I'm just going to say 40 feet. Okay, it didn't. I must have not done that correctly. I'm going to do this. Oh, I think I know what's going on here. Is the wall layer turned off? Yes, so now I have 2 walls. Done. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay, so let's edit this wall and we'll see if it's 40 feet long. Wall length. No, it's not. 40 feet. Update. This is one thing I like about Nathan. I know this Nathan Wilkerson. He's a really good guy. He created this extension. And while we don't have corners, starting angle, I'll fix all. I don't want to spend too much time on all these parameters. And And terminal. Will that fix it? Thanks, son.
I'm going to get food and gas.
Okay. Be careful, it's raining.
Okay, see you.
What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use this for this part, and I'm happy with what I've got, so I'm gonna edit this wall as soon as I was just trying to get the most of it done. What he's gonna do is this right here, and this is why I doubled the bottom plates, because part of the I keep forgetting if the shipping containers are 40 feet. What happened to my 40 foot? I didn't edit. I didn't update. 40 feet. Update. And why is that not? Come on, don't be giving me a hard time. Why won't it go? Why won't it update? 40 feet. 40 feet. Update. Alright, we're going to start over again. Because I think I corrupted this wall messing with it. So we're going to do this one more time. Otherwise, I'm just going to hand draw it. And so I'm going to draw it up here. I'm just going to run it out. Okay, let's do it over here. Is this the right direction? I'm making Nathan's wall extension look bad. $24". Okay. Close. Now I should be able to edit that and say it's 40 feet. Edit wall length 40 feet. Update. There we go. But that's on the wrong side. So I'm going to move this one over here. Close this. Let me get this wall situated, then I'll check for comments again. But this make sure I'm on the right plane here. I keep forgetting that the shipping containers are 40 feet to the block. Yeah, they're 40 feet to this locking, this lug here, which sticks out a little bit past the container. But see, some of the shipping containers, and this is not right, this lug thing only sticks up a ½ inch. Okay, so what you'll have to do is notch the first plate, and then the second plate will run right over the top of it. It's not a big deal. I've been looking for some really good shipping containers in SketchUp, and they're hard to find because people honestly just sometimes don't know how they're built. But anyway, let me see. 53-foot container. Oh, hey, Rex. It's not a 53-foot container, is it? It's 40 foot. Jennifer's trying to throw me off. Pretty sure Rex said 40 feet. But, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this wall. Because what I like to do is have, well, let's see. Let's think about this for a second. We're going to make this whole thing a component, okay? So that when if I edit it, then it will change. Both of them will change to be correct with each other. Okay, and this one's going to go right here. Now, I was telling Rex this, some of these flat spots on these containers are not wide enough. You know, so the reason I'm using 2 bottom plates is because this bottom one might have to be notched out a little bit depending on what kind of container you have. Okay, The other option would be to use like a 404, which we've done on some jobs that I missed. But this kind of locked my axis here. It's not working. You're supposed. What is going on? We're supposed to be. There we go. Hold down the shift key. There we go. But yeah, well, what happens is, these, I'll do it over here, these lumps on these roofs sometimes will come out they'll come all the way, there's only, maybe two and 3/4, 2.5 inches of a flat spot right here, because that roof is just comes over and welds to that top channel. So, and I don't know, I've seen 2 or 3 different types of containers. Some have a really wide spot, like this on the sides, and some don't have much at all. So I don't know how many factories there are in China that build the containers, but there must be, I don't know, there's probably a bunch by today's standards. So we got questions. 40 foot, Rex, yes. Now there are 53 foot containers, Jennifer, but we're working with 40 footers. So now we are going to do our trusses, which is another handy. We want to do floor trusses. Yeah. Okay, so we want to start right here because we're going to put OSB on the ends of ours to make them strong, to brace them. So we'll do that, and then we'll be running all the way down to here. And I used to have to draw these trusses by hand, and it wasn't too bad. You draw one, and then that's your component. Why does it say 20 feet? Out to out span, 20.6. Okay, that's 20.6 feet, not right. I think we're good. Everything's good. Let's see. Yes, we want to do advanced because that's going to give me my decking. Now, Russ said he had 5/8 decking that he got from some place he reclaimed. If I can get my glasses back on. Rim board, no, we're just gonna run the OSB up over the end of them. And I don't know why, you wouldn't do that with trusses anyway. Sill plate, no. Sill plate, okay. Boom. And okay, now what you do here, this is for, I wish they'd include that, but it's no big deal. I have drawn things by hand, or manually, I should say. I'm going to make this a group, and then I'm going to shoot it down there 40 feet. And then I'm going to color it wood color, and that's just a brace. Now some truss companies will do this and some won't, so you may get a truss where this end piece just comes all the way out. And the reason you heard me mention the OSB, what I really like doing, and it's okay for me to, I'm going to go ahead and edit this wall now because I'm done using the component, the extension part of it. That's really what you want right there, because this will make this really strong if you lap that. And since this is, did I say what height those were going to be? Let's see. I didn't do that, did I? It just occurred to me. I didn't give it a height. 16 inches. Honestly, 16 inches should work. Let me ask Rick something. Rex, are you still here? These trusses would probably work at 16 inches deep, but if you ever wanted to do your floor, on top of it later on, I would probably go ahead and make them 2 foot deep. Tell me what you think about that, how deep. Because as a roof, you see, as a roof, this is what we were talking about on the phone. As a roof, you're only carrying a roof load here. As a floor load, you'd want these trusses to be deeper. So I don't know if you want to just go ahead and make them 2 foot deep, or just plan on them being. I think I probably would. Let's see if you answered. I hope Russ didn't leave. I'm going to go ahead and assume that, because let's see here. Edit for. Did I mess it up? I couldn't. Sometimes this extension is great. Yeah, but sometimes some of the so Nathan works tirelessly on this stuff, right? He created this. This is his company, Medique. Okay, he really puts a lot of time into this stuff. And he hasn't quite got around to making some of these editable. I know almost all of the roof part of it is. In other words, where you can click on it and edit. You saw me editing the wall. So, but in this case, I'm going to have to make depth 24. I'm going to change that to 24 inches. And then we'll go from there. Yes. Everything else is still the same. There we go. And you see, that's weird. This time the 2x4 came in. Isn't that weird? But I'm not complaining about any kind of little glitch. I will happily take what I can get. Rex sent me a picture. Yeah, you see, Rex? I want to see if I can show you the picture that Rex just sent me. That's not 3.5 inches, I can tell by looking at it. But, let's see if I can get this up. Can I get that up to the camera? I'm going to try to back out until it doesn't look weird. But yeah. But it's no big deal. In your case, since you're working with a let's see, why does that have? Oh, I see what happened. I forgot to turn off the seal plate. Let's see if we can edit this one. Edit. No big deal though. We'll just do it again. I'll pay attention. Sometimes I don't pay attention. Floor truss, rectangle. Okay. We're going from here. What I had done is this, when you're doing floor trusses, it assumes that you're going to be on top of a foundation. Like for a regular house or something. And I need to make sure 24. Okay. I don't want a sill plate, no. Ribbon board, no. So it saved some of my settings. It saved the 5/8 sheeting, yes. Sill plate. Okay, there we go. Now, what's funny is when I told it to not do the sill plate, It didn't do the two before. But again, I'm not complaining one bit because it still saves me some time. I'll make this a group. Go down 40 feet. And I'm going to make that wood colored for now. When I actually do my drawings, the construction drawings that we print, I have a style that just makes everything look black and white. But while I'm working, I like to be able to see the wood color. Now, see now we don't have that bottom, that seal plate it added to it. And then this will come up. There. And that should have fixed, yeah, I made that wall a component so it fixed it on the other side too. Could you put them on 16-inch centers? Yes, you could, but the value of having floor trusses is that you can spread them out to 2 foot, you see. And they're 3.5 inches wide, so the optimal, over the years, we have discovered, the optimal use of floor trusses is to put them, to engineer them so that they will work on 2 foot centers. Because you can imagine if you put these on 16-inch centers, and I have done that because sometimes the span, I had a house one time that I think we went 28 feet on the span, and we had a bunch of walls and all this kind of stuff sitting on them. So we did go 2 foot deep and 16 inches on center. But there's only, you can imagine, there's not very much space between them. I guess what I'm saying is there's no reason to go. What you want to do is you want to tell your truss company what and we'll do this, Rex will do this, he'll tell them what the use is. We're kind of engineering this for a possible second floor later on. So it's going to be a roof now, but we're thinking about later on down the road when this would become a floor. And so yes, you can. But what I would do is I would just take the recommendation of the truss company because they have their software and their engineers that pre-engineer the trusses. This is just a graphic representation of a truss, you see, and they've got the duct chase here down the middle. This is not, obviously not the actual truss. This just represents. This is a placeholder for the truss. And the real trusses will obviously be put in there when we build it. See if there's any other. Oops, it's the wrong button. Could you? Yeah, I got your picture, Rex, and I showed it on the webcam to people, but you can see that's basically. You know what I can do? I can email that to myself, can I? And then I can show it to people. That's what we'll do. And your shipping container is the typical shipping container. The ones, and I try to tell people this, the ones that they think have that big flat spot on top are rare. As a matter of fact, I haven't seen that many of them. I've only seen them on one project that we've done. Do y'all this Kevin Ship guy, if I'm not doing a live stream, I listen to people's podcasts while I'm working. And he's cool. He's an ex-CIA officer. And I got too much in my head, don't I? let's go to that. Let's go to this, and then we'll go to this. But anyway, I listened to his he's an ex counterintelligence officer for the CIA, but he's a really down to earth guy and really smart guy. So anyway, here's this. You can see. You see, that's not 3.5 inches right there, and I've run into this a lot. But all you have to do is nip out. It is 3.5 inches to like right here, somewhere on that slope. So if you go to your little detail here, other than, let's just push this wall back for a second, just for the fun of it. We'll push it back to right. Let's see how many feet. That's 20 inches. I'm gonna go back another inch, I guess. Trying to get it to where you can see. You see, this is pretty accurate, except instead of whoever drew this container, this is more rounded. I thought I had my picture up there. You see, these are stamped. These tops are stamped with a hydraulic press. It's just sheet metal and that's why it's not designed to carry much of a load. But it is thick metal. It's about 16 gauge, so it's pretty thick, and it's thick enough to weld along that channel. I've actually watched videos of the process of them making these several years ago when I first started doing these types of projects. I wanted to learn everything about shipping containers. I found out there's really no engineering on the load capabilities of this channel. I mean, you could pay a structural engineer, and I may do that to just go ahead and do it, just so I can have the information to show people when they're trying to put loads on them. But what Rex and I are going to do is we're going to come in here. That's what these footings are for. We're going to come in and build a wall where the studs are stacked up. You see what you want to do. You see how these trusses are stacked above your studs. You want to kind of pretend that each little bay is a post and beam structure. Your stud comes up from your foundation or your support. It comes up and your truss sits on top of that stud. Okay, it's not only structurally sound, it also gives you chases to run plumbing. When you start drilling, if you got a vent pipe and you start drilling through this plate, you're not going to have to worry about drilling into the bottom of a truss that's sitting in the middle of that cavity. So there's a rhyme and a reason to what we do in construction. Let's see if we have. Let me get rid of this because it's messing up my live stream. Set picture. Okay. So that is that. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to put 1.5 inches. Let's make ourselves 1.5 inches ISO. We're just going to show it as a white. .5, and I'll triple click on that. That'll select everything that I just drew that's connected, and that will create a group. And then we're also going to allow, this is what I was suggesting. And of course now Rex is a roofer, so he knows what he's doing. You don't want to put a roofing material straight over this metal. You want to have a nice flat surface. For now I'm just going to show this coming over to here like that. And then this will go back, obviously. We'll show it to the edge for right now. Get back over there. Daggone. Is that? Oh, that's weird. It didn't look flush for a second. Then we'll copy this over. Why is that sticking out? Oh, it's optical illusion again. Oh, there's a gap between. Did I leave a gap there? I guess it doesn't matter, but no, I didn't. I just the other thing is, Rex, would be handy is to have a picture of Rex the roofer. Is a picture of this big locking lug here on the corners. You know, like this one, they don't normally stick up this high. They're normally about a ½ inch higher. This one's really extreme. I don't think they don't. They've got this sticking up. I've got our ISO sitting on top of those the lumpy, you know, the stamped out part of the ceiling. I mean the roof. And the reason I keep these, I show these plates continuing on top of the channel is because these locking lugs, some of them stick up farther than others. Now, what I like to do is put a cant strip here, and I think they're 3 or 4 inches. And this is just going to be I think they're 4. Are they 4? Like that. That seemed to go out that seemed to go out more than 4 inches. I'm going to do this because I don't trust that. That was an optical illusion. I guess it's bigger than I thought it was. Okay. I'm zoomed in. So I think this works good, and you can tell me whether you want to do this or not, but we used to do this when we had parapet walls. This would keep your roofing from having like an inside corner. But let me ask Rex. I'm glad you're here, Rex. Can you roof it? Yes, Rex, I can. We call these cant strips. I don't know what I mean. You're a roofer. You can tell me. Let's go. Well, they're called not cant strips or cant strips. Roofing images. I thought, yeah, here we go. See, cant strip. Oh, so I thought it was a I didn't remember exactly what it looked like. It is kind of a triangle with the. It's just that the corners taken out to make it fit better. Yeah, that makes sense. So it would have. You would just, you know, it's just got what it is this keeps it from getting all bunched up in the corner. You know. 40 feet. Yeah, like that. I meant to see how big they are. I'm thinking they're like 4 inches, aren't they? So this is what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to get so that there's not a 90-degree corner here with your roofing. And in the end, there won't really be much of a crease here. It just kind of rolls, the EPDM will just kind of roll down. There's a good picture, because they're made out of this fibrous, almost like a blackboard material. Let's see if Rex is commenting. Where are we? Cant strip is important. That's right. See, I'm a carpenter and I know a little about roofing, a little bit about roofing. I know one thing. I learned not to pretend like I know about roofing just because I've done some roofing. But I have a work when I first started back in 1978. I'm an old man, ain't I? No, I've always wanted to be in construction my entire life, and I think it just occurred to me that I can just, and I planned on it. I went to a vocational school in high school, so, but one of the first contractors I worked for, when I was working for him in high school during the summers and spring break and stuff. Yeah, while you went to the beach, I was working. Okay, he did a lot of renovation work, and we did some work on these flat roof commercial buildings that had parapet walls on them. They even had gravel. Back in those days, we didn't have fancy rubber roofs. We had layers and layers and layers upon felt roof, built up roofs, and you'd have these cant strips in the corners and all this stuff. And it was I always thought it was interesting. It's hard work though. Roofers earn every penny they make. Okay, you might complain about how much it costs. Oh, look here. How did my board get that long? I don't remember. Good thing I'm checking the back of the roof, huh? There we go. Easy fix. And then now we need to figure out where you gonna put so Rex, we got what we have from our footing up to the bottom of our truss. We have 11 feet 4 and 13/16. Let's see if I'm on the blue axis. 11 feet 4 and 7/16. So 11 feet 4, we'll say. 35% strip mitigates this. Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. Who would have known? Rex knew that. I just thought it was to keep you from having I always thought it was to keep water from kind of wanting to set in the corner. That when the water came down, it would just roll. And I can tell you this: you don't want your roofing like having creases in it. It doesn't look. First of all, you can't put a real crease in it. So what happens is, if you didn't have this cant strip, it wouldn't really get in the corner. So it would roll, and then then you'd have a gap. It'd be like this. You'd have a gap behind your roofing. This way, your roofing is coming down. Your EPDM's coming down, laying on that, and that's the way I always looked at it. Rex can tell me whether he thinks that's cool or not. That thought process. So on the door, how wide of a door did you say? Was it yes, keeps water from corner too. Yeah, see, that's how a carpenter thinks. We've got 11 feet 4, so you were talking about a 10-foot door, and then are you going to go ahead and frame in this for a door? I mean, we might as well show. Well, it depends on what you want to show. I can put it in a layer, The other thing I got to figure out is how we're going to brace this, because honestly, this is a bit of a hinge condition here. So we're probably going to have the building inspector's probably going to want to see some diagonal bracing, maybe every, maybe every 8 feet. We have some diagonal bracing that just goes from the wall up to, beside from a stud to the truss. but we'll worry about those kind of details when we get all this other stuff. 10 feet. How about wide? Top show, yes. How about wide? 10 or 12 feet, 16 feet wide. And then, do we want to pour a strip footing across here to, because we've got, let's see, let's go, where's the center? Is it 10 feet? Could be. I'm trying to figure out why the center, that's weird. The truss, I was trying to figure out, these trusses, I may end up fixing that later. They look kind of weird. I've never seen it do this before. But I'm not going to second guess Nathan, the guy who made that, because he's an engineer. So I'm going to leave it alone for right now. I'm not asking him about it. 10 foot and a quarter. What did I have? Did I mess up? Did I get my wall? That's weird. Dadgummit. 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 How did I do that? How did I get those 20? How did I get those 1/4 inch off? Holy cow. That is bizarre. I actually measured this. I know what I did. I know what I did now. That's that little 1/4 inch right there. So we're gonna make this right. But I don't know where I want to start making it right. I want to make these walls. I don't want them to be some weird. So I'm going to make the wall correct, and then we'll make everything else. I was wondering why the trusses were acting weird. When we were, I don't know if you remember this, when I was checking, is it going to let me edit it? I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out of this drawing. Sometimes when you go out of the drawing and come back into it, let's open up. We'll open up Laszlo's. Let's see, wait a minute. We will open up the 32 by 32. We're going to save this one. This is the one I finished it. Well, didn't finish it up. I sent a set of drawings off to the owner yesterday. Then we're going to go back in, and I'm going to see if that lets me edit. Nope. But it's okay. I can take it. I should have, instead of talking, I should have paid attention. I should have known when I saw that 20 point something that I was not. This should be 20'7". Yeah, that's right. And 40 feet. So out to outspan. Why does it? Okay, all right, that makes sense. We're gonna make them 24 inches, and we don't. I'm going to take this chase opening out. I'm going to take this chase opening out for now. I don't like the way it's working out. And well, let's just make it 24, and we'll say it's 10 feet 3. Did they want feet and inches? Is that going to work? We'll try that. And then we'll go here at 40 feet. Gable trusses, no. Okay, we don't want, oh, we do want the ribbon. And sill plate, let's say no, because I've already got it drawn. No, sill plate, no. 5/8. Okay, now, there we go. Now all we have to do is adjust our poly ISO. Let's see what that looks like. That looks more real. Now we're cooking with gas. Now I can go 10 feet. I don't like this. I don't like that weirdness. I just want it to be right. And that should be 10 feet. Good. Now let me go back and see if Rex told me what 10 foot wide, 10 foot deep. Strip footing. May run 6x6 posts in the ground for framing. Well, if you have a strip footing, which is a better idea, then we would just take out one of these and, we would run this, all the way over. Which I think is a good idea. And it would run, I'll figure out exactly where that used to run to when I do my foundation plan. When I do my foundation plan, I start to look at any little weirdness in the dimensions and make them. So on a garage door, you want to make it, well, we want to make it 5 feet to begin with, but you want to make this opening 3/4 of an inch bigger. That gives you room for a trim board. So you want it to be 10 foot, 10 feet, 1 1/2 inch would be your rough opening. And then, how tall is this wall? Let's build us a wall. Let's see if Russ looks good. Strip footing. Okay, cool. I'm glad the boss is here, man. This is easier because usually what I have to do is I have to guess at the stuff and then I end up having to change it later on because my guess wasn't necessarily right. So I'm going to measure from these trusses down to the concrete, and that would be 11'4" and 7/16. Let's see if I can build a wall. That goes from I should have put myself some reference marks. I want the wall to go to the container. Let me start this over again. On my shift key down. 4'11.5". Let's see what this does. That's acting weird. It's acting weird. 4 foot. There we go. See, the containers are rounded on the corners, so it's hard to measure. That's why I wanted a reference mark. You see, it's hard to measure to them. And that's the same with your concrete sonotubes. Anything rounded is just difficult. I don't know why. That looks right, though. So, if we go to our wall, extension, wall, and what did I say? Now, I know the wall, I'm going to say 11'4" for now, and I think it was 7/16. That's in inches, isn't it? Dang it, I knew that was going to be a thing. I have to do this in inches. So I know 11 times 12, that's 136.5. We'll do that for now. 0.5. And we want to do this out of 2x6s because it's a tall wall. And pressure treated bottom plate, yes. Advanced options, wall sheeting. Let's just go ahead and draw it, and then we'll. Am I going the right way? Yeah. Then we can edit it. I'm trying to think if that's the right dimension for the wall. That's weird. Now I'll show you. These walls are editable. See, so 136.5 update. That's the length. Time out. I'm not paying attention. Okay, here we go. 136.5 update. There we go. Now we're doing good. And we're probably, yeah, we're a little bit high. So it was 7/16. So what is 7 divided by 16? 7 divided by 16. We're going to get picky here. 0.4375. Okay, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to edit my wall because we want it to be accurate. 4375 is 7/16. See, it went back down. And I'm going to raise that sheeting up whenever I get this wall to where I want it. But first I'm going to put my door opening in there. Looks good. Strip footing allows me. Yeah. And that's why I leave this sticking up. If you're going to pour concrete, we'll leave that. We'd lower this an inch. I know that's getting kind of anal, but I'll show this at 4 inches because a lot of people will pour gravel around them, so I'll leave it at like 3 inches. But if you're going to pour concrete, we'll leave this at 4. But that doesn't change our wall height, which is good. Now, what I want to do is, before I start editing this, I can put one cool thing is Nathan has done with this extension is the ability to put doors, and there's a garage door. Okay, so we want it to be 120 by 120. Now, we don't really need, let's see what kind of header options he's got here, because we don't really need a header per se. All we really need is a wall up there. So it really doesn't matter. I've never really used anything else besides LVLs here on these garage doors. So let's just say we're going to use 2. What am I thinking? 2 inch and 3/4 by 11 7/8, just for now. Okay. King studs, we want 2. No, we want 2 jack studs. That's what we want. Why is it not asking for trimmer studs? We want 2 of those. And anything over 6 feet, we typically put anything over 4 feet, we typically put 2 trimmers. Head jam, no. Jam studs, no. Advanced, no. We're not going to put the door in there because he doesn't have a roll. Well, are you going to put? I forgot, Rex. Are you going to put? Let's say yes, and then we can always turn it off. Let's just put it. Let's put them flat panels for now. I can change this part. Let's just put it in there and see what happens. There we go. And I thought somebody was trying to call me. Sorry, today's Friday. I'm having to pay people. So let's get rid of our guidelines. I meant to ask what type of door. I think you said sectional door. LVL is good. Well, we can put let me get rid of this. I don't need this anymore. We can put the thing is it's really kind of non-load bearing, but it would make it stronger. Now, okay, so that door height is not correct. I can tell by looking at it. And what happens is sometimes let me get out here. Well, that's weird. Look at that. Let me delete all that junk. Sometimes I forget to hit the update button whenever yeah, that's 7 feet. I knew that looked weird. But I can do this. I can do this and wall tools, edit opening. Let's see. I need to show the door so I can grab it. Wall. Why is the door not showing up? That's weird. I'm gonna have to undo this for a second. Yeah, and do that again. Sorry. Garage door. Garage door height. 120. I'm just gonna go ahead and update it this time so I won't screw up. 2 LVLs. 2 inch and 3/4 by 11 7/8. 2 trimmer studs. I thought I said install door. It says install door, yes. Exterior trim, no. Interior casing, no. I'm kind of glad I did this over because I didn't want to. We don't need portal framing, no. Let's update that. And oh, I said that's what I did. I think I screwed that up by saying no panel instead of flat panel. There we go. There we go. That's more like it. Now we can delete our guidelines. Now I don't know what kind of door. Will it have any glass in it? I need to put this on hold just for a second. I'm going to put a note here. I'll be right back. I need to run a check out and put it in the mailbox for one of my subcontractors. Phew. Sorry about that. This camera's still working. Had to go out and in the rain. And sorry about the interruptions. I should have known better on Friday to try to do this. Glass, okay. Yeah, because normally what you'd have now, they'll see I should be able to edit, now that I have something to select, edit opening. Yeah, so cool. We will do glass, raised panel, glass. There we go. We'll just show it like that for now. And sometimes people will put this glass row on a tall door. They'll put it down here or right there. So, but I can fix that however you decide. Now on the back, I think what I'll do, I'm going to leave this as a component for right now, as this extension wall, because what I can do is I can edit it if I explode it. But that's basically what it looks like on the inside. And there, we don't want that. This is kind of what I was talking about. We don't want those little, let's see if we can edit this to get those little blocks out of there. Wall, edit, door, edit opening, header. Let's go down to our header. And let's say, for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it like that. But what I'll do is when I explode this wall, when we're done, when we know we're done and I can explode it, I'm going to go in and what we do in real life is sometimes we'll put, especially if the wall's 2x6s, which it should be, we'll put a 2x6 on the bottom of the header to make it come out, flush, to have a piece that comes flush with the wall all the way across. And so that would take care, that's probably about 1.5 inches. 1.9/16, yep. So that'll take care of that. I'll fix that. The other thing I just realized is we need to, and why does this keep coming? I keep deleting, I must have undone that. Keep deleting that old stuff. Am I on the front? I am on the back. Alright, so what was I going to do? Okay, so on this what I would recommend is putting a plate. Let's see how thick this is. I think if we put a 4x4, you can help me work through this, Rex. I'm trying to think. What we want is wood edges, right? Like we'd want a wood edge so that we could nail down our edge metal all the way around. Right? We don't want this polyiso to come out. We don't want this insulation coming out to the edge. So what we really want it to do is to go back like 3.5 both ways. But according to this, let's see what it is. according to this, it should be about, how tall? 2 15/16. I don't know how much to trust that. I don't know how much to trust that. But let me get one of these plates. Let's see, how am I going to do this? Let me get one of these plates off this wall, off these walls. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get 2 of them. Copy. And then paste. Oh, I figured they'd be going the wrong way. So what I'm trying to accomplish here is getting an edge, and I think why did I do that? Somehow I copied it instead of moving it. Let's get this up here, and then we want to get this. Oh, I hit the control key instead of the thing. But you see what I mean? Because we want to, aren't you going to have your edge metal here? Plate around the edge, yes. Yeah. What about a door? What a man door? What about a woman door, Jennifer? What in the world? I can't believe you said man door in 2021. A man door is going to mess us up, because that's going to mess up our symmetry. We can't have our symmetry being messed up. I think what are we going to do? What we could do is show. We want something we can rip down to get to this height, right? Because if let's just say that this container is correct as far as the thickness goes. So you'd want this to be really a fuzz lower than your insulation. So you wouldn't so it wouldn't kind of roll up. If anything, you want this to be a little bit lower, right, Rex? Because if this is the same height, you put your metal on, and then you're going to glue that membrane down. It's going to have a tendency to roll up. I mean, that's one argument for putting some kind of pitch on this, but we will show it how you want to show it. I think graphically what we do is we just show wood on the edge, and then let me steal. What if I steal a 2x4 out of here, if it'll be turned the right way? Copy. Watch it not be. Watch it be turned the other way. Paste. Oh, this one's turned. Okay, that's what I was shooting for. So if we just show this, for now, it's wood. It's 2 plates, but the height would be adjusted. What I should have done was I'm just going to run it to there for right now. Back here, and then go see. Oops. Wrong edge. So we're going to let that represent our wood. That's one thing that kind of, honestly, it's kind of annoying about, drawing work, is that you can't get it to be exactly what's going to be in real life, and it's a little frustrating sometimes. Because I want my drawings to be as accurate as I can be, but without knowing the exact field conditions, you just can't. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a component. I was just realizing this needs to be pushed back to that 3.5. Yeah. I'm going to make this whole edge thing a component. That way, when I change it, they will both change. At least I can make a group, and I can make a component, and then I can just copy it over here. If I was smart, I would have done the whole thing that way. Yeah, let's do this. Let's take this and this, and we're going to cut, and then we're going to put it inside that component. Okay, now I can go over here and delete these. This may seem counterproductive, but in the end it will be productive, not counterproductive. Because see, now I can just copy this over there and mirror it. -1, and then put it back. Yeah. Now I got that set up. See if there's any comments. Alright, so 2x3, easy to rip down. Yeah. What is he going to be putting in the container? EPDM lumber, 60 black, or TPO white heat welded material. Yeah. I think what I'll do to get SketchUp to show. What about the back door? What do you say about Jennifer's man door comment? Do you want a door on the back or on the front, or just leave it? So you have to open this each time. I guess the back gets a wall too, right? As far as the roofing material goes, let's see. So you would have metal edging here too, right? Because you can't just run the EPDM up and over, right? So you'd have the metal edge here, and then your EPDM up here would just stop there, and then it would be under the metal work here, come down, roll out on top of the metal, and then so forth. So what we need is a piece of drip edge. And fire code may be required to have one. Well, it's different for a shop or a garage. If you're inhabiting, here's the way the code works on this. If you're inhabiting this building, if this building is part of a residence, then you can't count this door as an exit. Okay? But in residential, if you have your 2 other exits that's required, you don't have to have the man door. You just can't count going through the garage as an exit unless you have a walkout. See, I'm politically correct. I call them walkout doors. I don't call them man doors because I think that's, appropriation or whatever it's called. And I'm just kidding, I'm trying to be funny. Fire code, So it's not really a fire code per se. We don't really have, it would be a means of egress. It would be, it's not a fire code issue in residential. It's a means of egress issue. So if this is not a residence, it's just a garage. There's no, you probably would have to have, if you were going to have like a little office or something in there, but if it's strictly just a garage to park a car, you could probably get by without a walkout door. But it's not a bad idea to have a walkout door in the first place, because, or in any event, because it's just handy, especially if you've got this heated or cooled and you're going in and out a lot. You're going to lose a lot less heat in there if you got a walkout door. Two by six fascia board, yes, walkout door on both ends. Okay. Do you want the walkout door office, shop, miscellaneous? Okay, so if it's office, then yeah, you'll have to have an exit. So, I believe it or not, I get a lot of these where people are just going to be parking their skid steers in there, and that's it, or whatever, tractors. And of course, a lot of people don't even put doors. They'll just have a roof, and they'll just park like a barn. So we need a strip footing on both ends. Now, on the strip footings, it's typically, it would be cheaper just to run this footing. When I say cheaper, I mean easier. Oop, that is the wrong. How did I select? Okay, so that's bizarre. I'm not selecting. Let's do this again. Let's do this again. Oh, I see what was going on. It'd be easier when you're digging these trenches. If you're in close proximity to a hole, it's better just to go ahead and dig a trench all the way across. Now, I can vouch for that. And it's going to be less concrete too. When you're doing a spot footing, it's going to be deeper than a spread footing, or like a grade. This is more like a grade beam now. And that's funny because let's see, I don't want that. So that one particular one was a component, so that worked out good. Okay. So the reason I'm saying that is because if we're gonna build a wall across here too. And we're gonna build it to this wall. Did that go down? And I need to move these plates out of the way for right now. Those look like they're left over. I'm just going to put them right there. So do you want the door in the middle then? And then a door over the side, or do you want to, it kind of makes sense to put the door in the middle, doesn't it? Maybe put an attic truss on top, down the road. Trench looks good. So I guess we would leave this door, and we would put what do we got left over here? 5 foot. So we're going to come over 30 inches, and then we'll put us a walkout door we really want to stay. Let's see, on this one you can get by with two 2x10s. Yeah. And advanced door options, yes. We don't want any trim. These are going to have no, not for now. I don't like not being mean, but I don't like the trim he does. No. Advanced door, install door, yes. Update. Typically on these we just do solid. We'll just do that and see what happens. There we go. And why is it sticking out? Why is that sticking out? Oh, because I turned the trim off. Okay. But I want this to be on. All right. So I'll fix all the little details. Like what I need to focus on now is just getting the configuration. How does that look? 36-inch door on the side. Walk out, and then what about the back? Would it just be kind of lined up with that one? We'll put our wall back there, and then we'll see. So I had my guidelines, and I deleted them accidentally. Yeah, because I want that wall to go to there. Wall. What was it? It was 136. This is what confuses me. When you first start, the wall height is the first one you come to. When you go to edit it, it's the second one, I think. I think it was 136.4375. That's what I remember. Yep. 11'4" and 7/16. Okay, then we got stud size 2x6, which I never need to remember to change on the other end. I think we need to go 16. I need to fix that on the other one. 16-inch. The bottom plate, yes. Not gonna worry about the corners. Alright. Go from there. I need to make sure I made the wall's too short for a 2x6. I mean a 2x4. So I need to go back and change this. Make sure this is 2x4. I mean 2x6. I keep saying 2x4, dang it. And it needs to be 16 inches. And stud depth 5.5. I thought I had that wrong. Update. There we go. There we go. Fix that. Close. You didn't see it change because, well, you kind of saw it change. The doors move back because the wall's thicker. Normally when I go over 10 feet high, I change to a 2x6 studs. Now, let me check the seat. When we look for a simple building on one of your property, on our property, we build 4 20-foot containers face door towards each other and left of 8 extra between them. Wall side in. Yes, line up. Yes, line them up. Garage door. So I can drive through. You want me to go ahead and subject, but put one overhead door. Wider for large. 4 containers Face the door toward each other. Left. Huh, that's interesting. So then Rex is saying, yes, line up, may have garage door. Do you want to show the garage door in the back? We would have to get outside. We would have to get outside. Do you want to go ahead and show the door on the back, Rex? I'll go ahead and put the other door in. Let me make sure it's, oh, it's from this edge, 30 inches. From here, I remember that. 30. Wall, door. And it should have saved all those. That's one thing nice about this extension. Let's go back around here. Did I have that much space on the side? Yeah, okay. Thought it seemed narrow. It looked funny. But something tells me this is not 2x6s the way that door is acting. Edit wall assembly. It says stud depth. Yeah, okay. We can go in there and see. They don't get trapped in the walls or in the ceiling. Yeah, I can tell by look, those are 2x6s. Yeah, that's right. There we go. If we do the garage door on both ends, it'll fix my front and back problem. Just kidding. Show it as option, but blank wall with only main door. Okay. We'll show a, well, what we should do is, what you should do is probably go ahead and frame in the header, you know, have it framed in and then just have like an infill wall there that you can just tear out later. If you're that serious about doing it, because, well, I mean, I guess it's however you want to do it, but let me do this. Let me do a section. It's easier than trying to always. That's weird. Why is that acting? There we go. It's easier to look at things if you've got this section going. So you know, it'd be easy to frame in this header and then put some studs in and then put sheeting over it. That would be a lot easier than later on trying to come back in and, you know, put the header in and all that. The header would already be there. But that's weird. Are y'all, am I still? That was weird. Am I still live? Can somebody tell me? My OSB. That's the first time that's OSB. My OBS. OSB. My OSB disconnected, man. That's the first time I literally, in all these years on YouTube, I've never seen that before. I'm gonna cut this off for now. Take that off. And we're gonna put a door in here. Let's see, 10 feet. And we're gonna put a door, garage door, and we're gonna make it 120. See if I can remember everything. Trimmer studs 2. Okay, let's update this. Is that gonna be right? Yeah. And then head jam, no. Install door, no. That's right. Looks like it's all gonna be good. Yay, it is good. And then what we can do is we can put this door in its own layer. We can create a door layer. Let's see, which means one thing that just occurred to me, all these wall. Oh, that's already in there. Cool. We don't have a floor frame. Delete that. We don't have either of these. Oh, we do, don't we? It's just, really it's our roof. So I'm going to put it in our roof. Oops. Right, I'm going to leave it alone for right now. Let's see. Alright, well I'll straighten out my layers. Again, I'm trying to get this configuration. I don't want to bore people with me trying to straighten out my CAD standards here. But the one thing these happens with these extensions is that they create multiple layers. And the cool thing about SketchUp 2021 is it allows you to create these folders that you can, you know, I know this is a dead layer. You can close and then open each one as you need it, and it helps you organize. Well, I can turn off the whole, the whole foundation if I want to at one time and that kind of thing. But what I was going to say is, in the wall layer, I'll create a layer called, or the wall folder, I'll create a layer called, what are we going to call it? There's something, door option. If I can turn off my caps key. Door option. And that way, now I can go in and put this in that layer. And I refuse to change my terminology. For some reason, starting in, I think 2021 or 2019, SketchUp changed these to tags instead of layers, and I don't know, I've been doing CAD work for 30 years and I'm just having a hard time changing my terminology. But anyway, now we can go and turn off door option. Now what we can do is go in here and look. Let me get out of that. If we can get through the glass. Okay, so this is what I was thinking. We need to put the header, though. For some reason, he puts the framing of the door in. Oops. Yeah, we need our king studs and trimmers. And let me paste before I forget, paste the LVLs back. Now what we need are our trimmers, our king stud and our trimmers. I don't know why. This is one thing we need to do. We need to talk to Nathan about this. Getting our framing in the framing layer and not in the door layer. We want this because we want to be able to turn off our doors without turning off our framing. So I'm going to cut it out of the door group, then I'm going to paste it back here. So now I can turn off the door if I want to. Yeah, and I still have my framing. That's what we want right there. Now what we can do is frame us in a temporary wall. And not sure, oh, I'm missing the second trimmer. I thought I grabbed it. We call them jacks. Oh, Tony, where are you? Is this the one I was working on? I'm getting confused now. Is that the one? Yeah, I'm going to turn that off. I gotta turn it back on. Okay. Somebody's texting me and they're getting me all discombobulated. I'm going to take that one. I'm going to take this one. And I'm going to cut. Then I'm going to go out. Oh God, help me. I keep backing out of the wall. And then we're going to paste it in place. Now we're going to turn the door off. And then we're going to go in there and check it out. Yeah, okay, that's what we want. That's what we want. That's exactly. Now we can go out here and frame in ourselves a wall. I'm sorry, let me see who's texting me. Oh, it's Rex. That's funny. Yeah, I got the hooks. I've seen those. Attics. Yep. Got that. Yep. Got some rust. So here's our sticking up. You might want to take a grinder to some of that. I mean, not to get the rust off of it, but to cut it down. Be back in 5. Yes, framing the header. Oh, Rex went out to take pictures, and now he's going to be back in a minute. That's funny. So we want to frame in now this wall. So Rex, this wall could be 2x4s. So to save money, but I don't know if you want to. You know, it depends. You could go either way here. It doesn't really matter because I'm gonna. Let's see, because it'll be easy to fix. So I'm just gonna go from here. Oh, dang it. Tony. Wall. Have to hit the orbit button, not the paint bucket button. And that wall's going to be too tall because I didn't say how tall it was supposed to be. But I think do I have it at 10 feet, right? $120. Edit wall. 120. Update. Now what? Why is it not changing? Did I screw it up? 120. Update. Well, guess what? I'm going to delete you, and we'll try again. I was thinking about having extensions. Well, let's try making sure that it's 120 to begin with. We'll update it. Not sure what I did wrong there. I know I've done this orbiting stuff before. I know that doesn't mess it up. You're going to get to where you can see where it goes. There we go. That's right. There. Now we got an infill wall that can easily be torn out if you're looking at it from this end. Yeah, that could easily be taken out later on. And I would even do the do the OSB like that also, so that it was easier to take out. You don't have to cut it. Just go ahead and cut it. Yes, but Jennifer, wait, let's see. Why do you find a container with the side doors on the side, accessing the side to the shop too? Very expensive containers to buy. Yes, but they much handler. The thing is, the containers with the doors on the end are a dime a dozen. The doors, the containers with the doors on the side are considered customized containers. That's just the way they're sold, and they are probably twice as expensive. They're nice. The thing is, you can go in, and the way we're going to do this, we're going to build a wall inside there. You could go ahead and cut a door into the inside of the containers if you want to, and then you'd have your framing with a header and all that to carry this wall load, which is what we're going to look at next. Jennifer's like, I understand that, but that's what I would do. I know. Now, the only thing I did weird is, and this is just a minor point, is I put, this technically is the front view, and it's really kind of bugging me. I wasn't really going to mention this, but it's kind of bugging me. And this is the back. So I got the, so the front is the one. Now, you know what? It just occurred to me too. Rex, is the front going to have the doors of the containers showing like that? This is the front. So I think I need to take my walls and switch them around. Doors on the side, 7 to 8,000. Yeah, they're expensive. Yeah, when you can buy a whole container for $2,500, or somewhere between $2,500 and $3,500 is what I've seen. I mean, if they're in excellent shape, you'll pay $5,000, but nobody's going to pay that. Usually, people won't pay that much for them. One thing I just realized is, okay, technically, this is my front view. When I start to do my drawings, this is my front view. Now I need to switch the door. I need to switch the door walls around, don't I, Rex? Oop, wrong button. Yes, container doors on the front. Yep, that's what I thought. So if I quit hitting that button, I'll be good. Right there. So what I need to do, and this is not too big a deal, because this all, I need to move this back here. And I'll turn it around in a second. I could mirror it, but I don't want to. Sometimes if you mirror this stuff with this wall extension, it kind of, with doors in it, I've noticed it wants to go wanky sometime. So I'm just gonna do this and then turn it around. Make sure I went 180. Yep, and then put her back. That would go right here minus that would go there. And why does that have double? Oh, it's the optical illusion. Looked like it had double OSB on it, but it doesn't. That's the way it's just the way it looked. Alright, so if I click on front view, that is correct. Got the doors on the front, and then the back. Yeah. Alright, so now we have it correct. I know I could have rigged that in the drawings to just say front and back, but I don't know. That was bugging me a little bit. So let's see. They make them in UK at the place I showed a lot more than the ones you're using. Yeah. Yes, container doors on the front. Okay, so oh, it's a rainy day here today, and the rain always, when I'm drawing, always makes you just gotta. I need to get some coffee. So I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave the OSB off that for right now. So you said something earlier. My reconnection successful. For some reason, my OBS keeps disconnecting and reconnecting. So sorry about that. If that's affecting, I hope it's not. And this would be two inches, or that's a 2x6, 5.5. Yeah. So, and then you would have one on the sides too. Is that what you were talking about, Rex? $5,600 delivered, about 1,200 more than a year ago. Wow. So the popularity of the shipping containers. I was here all week. You were talking earlier about having a 2x6 fascia, and I think this is what you were talking about here. And I think I'm just gonna steal this one because it's a full 2x. Turn it upright. And I think that you were going to use that for your that drip edge. Oops. We just have this little weird thing going on right here where, well, it's no big deal. You could take this all the way to here if you wanted to, or to, where would that go? Let's see, if you went to there, let's see, we'd have our corner piece, probably just to here, yeah. Like that. Yes, on the fascia, on top roof, also 2x6 fascia. Oh yeah, on top roof. I got you. Yeah. So this would go. Let's see. I'm gonna have to copy this out though. Copy. I don't want to mess up my. If you noticed, I had that as a component, so as I was fixing it over there, it was fixing itself over here. But I'm just going to leave this. Paste. My mouse is charged up yet because I still got this cord hanging on my. So that would be. That fascia would be like that. Yeah. Now this would be. Let's see. What if it's too early to mess with this? I'm gonna go just for now. See, the thing about this is, if I bring this up, I'll just give you an example. If I bring that up, which I will eventually, and then let's say we change the door side, or we change something, and I go in here and edit. Let's say, and then I say update or close. It'll put it back down there to where it was. You see? So, but just for the fun of it, I'm going to bring this up here just so I'll know where to put my 2x6 for now. Get out of that. Because technically this would be out here, and then I'd have another one if I copy it. Let's go over here first. Like that, and then I would have another one. Ah, 90. Not some kind of weirdness. Hope I didn't change the thickness of that. Let me check. Make sure I didn't change that. No, good. And this one will go down here. Except it'll be out 7/16. Because this will be up here minus that, and then stomach's ground. Didn't have lunch. Had some tea. Yeah. Trying to get this roughed out. And I'll fix all this OSB mess here. You see, again, what I'll do is I'll come in here and but I know, see, I've learned my lesson on this stuff. If I do all this, if I fix it now, see, I promise you, I'll end up having to fix this. I'll have to change something on this wall, and it'll all go back to where it was. It's kind of funny. The only thing about this is, I wonder what kind of, would you have metal siding on this wall? just for giggles on the container roofs, I can use sloped insulation also. May slope 3-inch to. I would do that. You know why? Because of that issue I was talking about earlier. How you know, when you run your metal over here, it typically, and you can tell me, would it just be? I've seen it done several different ways. I've seen it like it'll come over a little bit, then it'll literally have a little bit of a. I should have got closer. Let's undo that. Let's start here. I'm just going to do this as an example. It'll come up and then come down and then come out like that. Which not like that, but you know what I mean? So, and then, have you ever seen that? Or are you going to break the metal to where it's just, you know, like 3 inches, 3 by 3, and then have a little drip edge like that. Water will pond on the edge. Yeah. That is the issue. You're right. So I can show. I'm just going to draw a short piece here. That's like something like that, or how far is it 3 by 3, or do they take this out of the 3 inches, don't they? So it would be like a 1/2 inch less, like that. I mean, it doesn't matter too much because, you know, this is just sort of a drawing, but I want it to be, you know, as close as I can get it. Your metal drawing is correct on the edge. Okay, yeah. Oop, wrong button. There we go. So I'm going to make a piece of, I'll make this a group. Now, this is the funny thing about SketchUp. This is one thing you kind of have to rig. You see, you kind of have to raise it up a little bit. Like I'm going to raise it up a quarter and come out a quarter. Let's try an 1/8. Yeah. Otherwise, it'll show through. And then, is that white? I'm just going to show this. Well, I'm just going to show it white because it doesn't do any good to put any kind of color on there. Because when I start doing the drawings, it's just going to be white anyway. So colors named white. Yeah, that's just the way it should be. Now, let's see. I wonder. Probably should try to do the. So let me ask you this, Rex. Do you want to go ahead and show like a let's see, this is 8 feet wide. I forgot how aren't the sloped insulation? Wouldn't it go from like 3 inches to what? they have a thickness on the end, right? They don't go to nothing. Don't they go to like an inch or They don't taper to nothing, right? That wouldn't be right. Yeah, but you wouldn't want to take it. I mean, typically you don't want the rubber to go literally right. Um, don't they put this metal on first, and then the EPDM comes over and lays on top of it? You adhere it down to this. Isn't that how they do it? And I've actually seen some of that metal actually has a little it comes out, maybe a quarter or a half or whatever, and then it comes back and then goes, so it gives it a little bit of a drip. This metal work always kind of drives me nuts because I want it to be accurate, but it's like it really just depends on what you're going to use in the field. Yes, typically. Let's look up. Let's see if we can just get if somebody has EPDM drip edge. I know this is not what it's called, but somebody will. And it may be that what I'm thinking of is, more of a something you would see on a let's see, roof edge termination, gravel stop. Yeah, that's roof edge, parapet. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. You're the roofer. You tell me. Let's see. Here's a detail right here. Optional. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. How you get this. They always show it this way, where the EPDM's kind of rolling up over the metalwork or whatever your drip edge is. Wrong button. That was the right button. Sorry about all the flipping around. Gravel stop would go on the ends. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. What time is it? 2:54. Yeah. I have an online meeting with one of my other customers at 3:30, so I need to do a little drawing work for that. How long have we been on? About several hours. Yeah, almost 3 hours. So what I'm going to do, that's why I put metal under, termination bar on top. What we might have to do, Rex, is get on. I have when you haven't seen this yet, I have a server here where we get on and, I'll create a room for just, us. And then what I do is I can screen share and, basically you're looking at you're looking at this with me and we're talking about it. And it's going to be easier for me to do that. So why don't I do this? Why don't I get this? Let's see. Well, let me ask you you wouldn't have on this tall of a wall here, would you put your EPDM on that, or would you put like a metal siding there? I guess it would be easier just to put the EPDM there. Oh, now I need to close that and get back to here. That's why I put the, yeah, so, and then would we put metal siding on, the front and back? And I'm trying to think of how this is going to look when you come. I guess if you have the EPDM on this, you just have a metal corner here to cover up the corner, and that would lap over. So this is going to be a little bit detailed, working out some details on these edges and corners, and whether this gets sloped insulation or not on it. And that's all the hard parts, getting all those little details working out. But that's looking good. I think it's kind of funny. It looks kind of industrial, very industrial looking, doesn't it? Very I don't know. I think it's going to be kind of cool, actually. Metal on the front and back, yes. Metal corner or trim board, yep. I just thought since you were maybe doing a metal siding, you'd have the metal siding corners maybe lap very, around the corners. You'd probably want to use the least amount of wood trim that you can get by with, on this. That's why I didn't put any trim on the doors, because normally, when we do something like this, we'll have metal siding and then we'll have like metal jam pieces that wrap around, instead of having, wood trim out here exposed to the weather. It would be very low maintenance, in other words. But it's whatever you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and prepare for this other meeting, and then I will get with you, Rex, and figure out a few of the details, like the sloped insulation. I remember using that many years ago. Maybe it's probably 15 years ago now, and I don't think it goes to nothing. Aztec trim. I think even the wedged insulation goes to like an inch or something. It doesn't go down to zero. It doesn't go down to a fine point, right? So would it be? And then how wide? I don't remember it being. I do kind of remember it being wide enough to go, but I do know they have stepped wedge, sloped insulation where, one piece would go halfway and then the next one carries on, or you stack them and they just keep going. So, anyway, I need to figure out that, and then this edge metal, what it's going to look like, and your termination bar that you're talking about, and this gravel stop. I just need to go look. I want to do a little more research. I might call my metal guy at Best Buy Metals and ask him what the dimensions are, because you and I both have used this, Rex, but I don't know exactly what the dimensions are on what you're talking about. I know what I've used in the past. What we do is I've got a company here locally called Roofing and Supply Company, and they make all of our flashings are custom made. I'll do a drawing of all the flashing on a job in SketchUp and send it to them and tell them how many feet. And we use paint grip galvanized. We use a 24 gauge paint grip galvanized on all our stuff like this, because I like it to be. I don't like wimpy metal edges, because I don't like it to bend or crease or oil can when I'm trying to nail it down. So anyway, I will. Goes to 1/2 inch. Okay. All right. And then how wide is it? I'll check it out. I'll look at it. Use your metal drawing. I can modify it if I finish. Okay. Yeah, that's right. You have a break. Okay. That makes sense. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you, Rex. You know what? You saved me some trouble by being here, because it's difficult sometimes making assumptions. I've done all this stuff, but it's you know, like I said, we have our flashings custom made on every job, so sometimes I forget what the industry provides as a standard. But thanks guys, and I will be back soon.